Hey guys, what is up? It is Friday and I'm excited. So I just wanted to come on here to talk to you guys a little bit more about the journals. And a lot of you have asked me to kind of go a little bit deeper into them. So I thought, hey, this is a good spot to do it. So the reason that I like for you to have 5 journals, you heard me, 5. You're like, oh my God, that's a lot. Yeah, well, if you want to get better, this is just another tool in your toolbox. So if you're saying that it's already too much or too hard, then you don't really want to get as better as you think you do. So let's talk about each one of those journals. So your first journal is your most important journal, in my opinion, on how you start your day. And that's your gratitude journal. Your gratitude journal, it doesn't have to be so like, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my house, I'm grateful for my job. It can literally be, because very often we get so caught up in the bigger things, you got to pay attention to the things that you take advantage of or for granted, which is like the sunshine. I'm thankful for the sunshine today. I'm thankful for finding a matching pair of socks, and so grateful, not thankful, same thing, but grateful is a little bit better. And so you set your timer for 10 minutes when you start every single day. All of these journals, by the way, are like 365 days a year. Like this isn't just a come as you are and do it when you feel like doing it. No. So if you're going to commit to doing this, it's got to be a daily practice, even when you don't feel like doing it, even if you have to get up a few minutes early to do your 10-minute gratitude journal. But you want to start your day with gratitude. If you don't start your day with gratitude, it's easier for you to see all of these other things that you feel like you're not grateful for or that you don't want, right? So now your second and third journal are going to go hand in hand. And that's your positive and negative journal. And the reason I differentiate that, now, if you're like, well, I can only write in one journal because that's all I have, I would much rather you do that than not write in any journals. But the preference is to have 2 journals. And the reason being is because when you're doing it in one journal, you're kind of just taking everything and dumping it into one space, which is fine. But I like to have the double journals. And the reason being is because your negative journal is a stream of consciousness. You don't date it. You don't have to worry about punctuation. You don't have to worry about all of that. But this is where you just, felt like throat punching somebody today. Or this is what's going on and this is how I feel and all these. It's literally your journal. And the reason that positive journal goes hand in hand with that is because you might say, wow, I really got in my 10 minutes of gratitude every day this week. Well, that's something in the positive journal. So think of the gratitude journal, because gratitude and positive is different. Gratitude journal is things that you're grateful for in the morning, right? In little, big, everything else. Positive journal are the progress and the things that you see yourself making, right? That you are making. This is all about you here, right? So we have your gratitude journal, positive and negative. While I like for you to do that in the evening, I also carry mine with me in my bag. So sometimes if I'm like sitting, waiting for something, if I feel my brain start to kind of spiral a little bit, I'll just pull it out and start writing in it. And it's pen to pad. Don't just do this on your iPad. It's still fine to have like a journal or something you can jot things down on your iPad or a tablet, but it's just not as effective as pen to paper. Okay, so we've had 3 journals. Your 4th journal is your data dump journal. And that journal sits by your bed. I call it your data dump journal because, at like 3 o'clock in the morning when you're like, why do camels have 2 humps? Why did I have that argument in 3rd grade? What am I going to make for dinner tomorrow? Those sort of like repetitive thoughts, right? I want you to, that's where you dump them in. Another benefit of that, which I'll do a whole different one maybe next week on like sleep, but this data dump journal is going to be a huge part of your sleep, because then if you wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning ruminating on things, you're able to have a space to dump it in. Now with sleep, and I'll go into it deeper, if you're not sleep in 20 minutes, you get out of bed, but we'll cover that in a whole different video. So that's your 4th journal. And your 5th journal is really important too. They're all important. It's your mood journal. So your mood journal is just something to kind of carry around with you. And your mood journal is like, okay, I was really angry. Let's say you're sitting in traffic and you just feel yourself getting all flustered and you can just feel it coming up. Remember, your describer is not the mood itself, right? So you could say angry, sad, happy, frustrated. You could say any of those things. Those are describer words, like me looking and saying, this is white. It's just a describer word. So when you're doing your mood journal, I want you to feel those feelings. Oh, I feel like my chest is tight. Oh, I feel like I got a wet blanket on me. Ugh, I feel like it's just hard to breathe, right? Processing that out. Because very often, haven't you ever been to the position where you tell somebody, I'm just so frustrated? And they're like, well, what does that mean? You're like, I don't know. I just feel it. You're like, well, how? So this is the art of allowing yourself to feel your feelings. That's essentially what the mood journal is a feelings journal, and forcing you to kind of look beyond the describer factor of it, right? And so when you have all of those things together, 365 days a year, every single day, when you integrate that as a permanent practice, you start, and I promise you that this will happen, usually after about the first month, if not before, you'll start going, okay, ooh, I can't wait to journal about this later. And it also makes you a lot better of a person when it comes to like people who see things differently, or they're arguing with you, or they're sitting in an argumentative space, because you know that you're gonna be able to process it. You can just, you're gonna be like, I'm gonna go write in my journal, you know, and don't be all panicked about, oh my God, what if people find it? Well, if you're talking about somebody, then perhaps you need to have that conversation anyway, but there's a lot of things that people do not need to know. Everybody doesn't need to know 100% of what's going on with you at any given point in time. Like, everybody doesn't need to know everything, right? But if somebody's going through your stuff, that's already a huge red flag that we need to talk about in a different video. And if they stumble upon it, then they stumble upon it, right? This doesn't mean not do it. I have people who have hidden it under their seat in their car, in between their bed mattress. They'll take it in to work with them. They'll put it in a safe. I mean, if you're that stressed about it, you can easily do that too. So, but that's the 5 journals. And I'm telling you, it's just another one of the many tools on this journey of growth that will benefit you. So I wanted to tell you about that. I'll talk to you next week.